So where does my story begin? That's a long time ago. I think what's important to understand about that is my story is kind of parsed together. So I guess what I mean by that is the main element of my story starts at age 19. But then as I got older, I realized there was a bigger chunk of my story that started at age 9, if that makes sense. And age 19 is a point when I got done with my freshman year of college and was diagnosed with acute myelogenous leukemia and sat down with my hematologist, Dr. Lacey, and was told that you got a pretty good one and we're going to do our best. Understand that the chance for you to live to age 24, which is 5 years from now, is about 10 to 12%. And I guess that was really the first true challenge that I realized that I had in life. And it wasn't until the later years when I probably truly admitted to myself what my biggest challenge was. And that started at age 9 when my mom was actually terminally ill with cancer, and we knew that she was going to pass at some point, but during that time I got shuffled around quite a bit to find people to care for me, because my dad wasn't able to while he was helping to take care of my mom, and during that time frame was sexually abused by one of my caretakers, and that took me 37 years to come to terms with before I actually started talking about it. So I was 47 at that point. Older now, still in counseling and still battle with it day in and day out. So that, when I talk about my story, where's my story been, where's it going? That's probably the biggest challenge I still face. Leukemia, that's physical. That's drugs, that's doctors. That's just true grit, getting through it. Abuse, that's psychological, that's mental, that's a lot of internal demons to battle. When you go through some of these things, you feel like you're the only one. And you are. You are and you aren't, right? Because nobody went through what I went through. And everybody who goes through their thing at different levels of it or different experiences. And I think the tough part is, no matter how hard people tell you you're not the only one, it's not your fault, whatever it might be, you're still the only one, that I have been abused. Shared my story a little bit, and I think the problem is the mental side of it. It's the emotional scars, it's the mental trauma piece. I will tell you that when I first talked about this at age 47, I couldn't even speak it. I wrote it down. So it's as you can see, it's still a struggle. I mean, I'm 54, so it's been 7 years, and I still struggle getting it out. So you are alone. But there are people that want to help you, but you have to let them move you in the right direction. I'll be honest, it's selfish, but that's where speaking helps. It gives me a chance to connect with other people, and maybe, all this bullshit that I have to go through, maybe it helps somebody. And it's hard to know that you have to go to that spot and help other people. And when I made those connections, then I don't feel so alone, but it's my own personal journey. The one that, when you talk about seeing your purpose face to face, the story that I've told, and not very often, because it's emotional, is I was speaking in Marshfield at the schools, the middle schools. And I got done talking, and this was one of the very first times that I was actually speaking about abuse. And I had these middle school kids there, and one of the things I like to do in anything, I've always thrown out suckers, right? So the kids come up to me at the end, hey, mister, can we have more suckers? And so I'm handing out suckers to these kids, and there's one girl standing off to the side a little bit quiet, and she's like squeezing her books against her. And I said, would you like another sucker? And she goes, no, I'm good. And then the other kids walk away, and she just looked at me and she said, I'm a lot like you. And I said, you are? How was that? She said, I was abused for 3 years by a family friend from age 8 to age 11. He's in prison now, but she said, now that I've seen you talk and I heard your story, I don't want to kill myself anymore. If that's not a punch in the gut about life and about purpose, I don't know what else is. But to be that age and to only want to die because of what somebody else did to her, and then to have an opportunity to listen to my story and at that moment say, I don't want to die anymore. I don't know how much more real life gets at that point. But ultimately, at the end of the day, when I'm meeting people and talking to people, I want them to know that they have, they have gifts, they have talents, but they have purpose. They have to have hope. They have to hang on to that. I talk sometimes about just having a little hope in your pocket. That's all it takes, right, to get by. But everybody has purpose. Some it's big, some it's small, some it's, who knows what. All people need is a little bit of somebody to prop them up a little bit, right? Somebody to let them know it's going to be all right. Somewhere along the line, you got to change that perspective. You got to remember to have some hope. It's going to pass, and it's not easy. We still have purpose. So give them a little bit of hope.